Hello, good morning. Welcome to Joseph FX. This is Wednesday 09/03 2022, and I'll be breaking down some pairs for you guys, which will include US dollar, Euro USD, GBP JPY, GBP USD, and Bitcoin and gold. So I'll be giving you the breakdown of these pairs. For the US dollar, you can see that let's start from the daily time frame because I'll be analyzing from the daily to the 4 hour to the 1 hour. I'll make a drop down analysis. I've already marked up the chart, so I will just explain it, or better still, for clarity's sake, I clear everything and then I will analyze it from beginning. So as you can see on Euro USD, on US dollar, the market has it formed the higher high somewhere around here on the weekly, but there's an inner structure. So this is a we'll look at the market structure, both inner and outer. So on the weekly, if you see on the weekly, I did not want to go to weekly, but if you see on the weekly, this is a structure the market formed somewhere around here. Sorry, let me bring out my tools. The structure the market formed somewhere around here, and then let's go back to the daily and see. You see that this was the structure here, somewhere around here. But on the daily, we have inner structures, and in that inner structures, we can see that this was a higher high, lower high, sorry, and this was a lower low. So looking at this, you can see this is the level. The market broke above this level with this, and then it pulled back into this area, pulled back into this area, and then it has pushed above this area, pushed above the previous higher high, and it has formed the new higher high. Now, what is remaining for the market to do is either continue pushing up a little bit and then pull back into some of this area, or it pulls back into some of these areas here. So somewhere around here, somewhere around here, this will be somewhere around here. So even if it pulls back, even if it pulls all the way to here, it still maintains the structure. What it does, it just form a lower low, a higher low, sorry, a higher low. So we're looking at it to pull into some of these places. Looking at it from the 4 hour time frame, you can see that we want to see the market pull away from these areas. When we get to the 1 hour, you see all these things I'm talking about clearly. We want to see the market pull away from some of these areas and then pull back up into some of these areas, and then from there we'll be looking for ourselves into some of these areas, sales into this kind of areas, areas these areas. Then also overall we can be targeting these areas for the sale of the US dollar, and this is a temporary sale in the overall trend. So this is a pullback we're expecting on the 1 hour. If you look at it on the 1 hour, we can see that the market just formed the higher high somewhere around here. This was the higher low, and this is the higher high. So we expect the market naturally to pull away from this and then pull back into this level, and then we'll start looking for sales into some of these areas that I marked. Let me make it so I can see it on the 1 hour. This is the structure on the 1 hour. One, two, three. Structure. Yeah, so going to the next pair with a lot of time here. Euro USD. I'll be quite brief and fast what I'm doing. For Euro USD on the daily, start from the daily, you can see that the market is in a downtrend. This is the last structural um, lower high, and this is lower low. So we're expecting the market to pull up a little bit Then the market will pull out a little bit from some of these areas. So to some of these areas, somewhere around here, these areas, and then we'll be looking to take sales. I'm not going to break down this structure on the buy because the market is close to the zone. So we'll wait for the pullback and then we'll look for sales. And if it doesn't do that, we'll look for whatever the market is saying. But right now, the market is overextended and we need a pullback. Same thing on the 4 hour is overextended, we need a pullback. Same thing on the 1 hour overextended, need a pullback. So I'm not going to go into details with this Euro USD. I'm going to go to the next pair, gbpjpy. For gbpjpy, I'm expecting a sell. Going to the daily, we can see that the overall structure of the market is on an uptrend. I see it from the weekly. The overall structure of the market is on an uptrend. So on the daily, the market is kind of, I don't like to use this word, ranging. Kind of ranging. This was a high, it was a low, it was a high, it was a low, and this failed to create a high. So and in this their inner structure, there's the inner structure here. This created a double top here, and it has broken below low, this low here. So we're expecting the market to either pull back into some of these areas or from where it is. If you look at it on the 4 hour, it's forming something like a double top. If it should reject this area, we'll be taking sales from this area into some of these areas. And how I got to know that I'm taking sales into some of these areas because the zone is close by. See where the zone is? The zone is close by, so we're targeting some of these areas. That is the target. Look at it on the 1 hour, almost the same thing. So it's not really pushing above the zone, it's just within it. The market can still reject from some of these areas. We start looking for sales into it because if you look at it on the 1 hour, the market is forming higher, lower high and lower low, lower high, lower low, and this is also like a lower high. It's not broken above this level, so you can still reject this level and we'll start looking for sales into some of these areas, and then overall these areas here. That will be that for GBP, GPY. For GBP USD, this I will expect a little bit of pullback into some of these areas because go on the daily and see it. You can see on the weekly, the market has broken structure to the downside. So if this week should close like this, if this week should close like this, that means this will indicate further sales. Then we'll be looking for pullback into some of those areas. So, and going down to daily, you can say that if this week should close something, it could just pull down a little bit, and then we can look for buys into these high areas. Sorry, let me on the daily, it has broken this zone. This zone is both a daily and weekly, so we want it to hold below this zone for the rest of the week so that the weekly can close below. But if it doesn't want to do that, it will pull down. So this was the last, although the market is overextended, this was the last lower high, and this is the last lower low here, last lower low here. So we want the market to pull back into some of these areas on the 4 hour, pull back a little bit, and then we'll take a sell to the downside, hoping that the market stays below the weekly zone. So we target some of these areas here, known areas. Target some of these areas here, and also some of these areas. So areas that we can target to the market. Then also these areas here. So although those are weekly targets, we could also see them on the daily. That these are daily targets. We pull back. You see that it's a daily target also. It's a rangy. It's very rangy. It's a very messy range. So most likely the market will hold below this area. this week. So, but we'll expect it to pull to this area, and then we're looking for short to this area, and then maybe possibly this 1.29 area, and expecting a pullback from next week. Um, not really, yes, same thing. Then what other? Which other pair? Bitcoin. Bitcoin on the daily, you can see the markets. This was the last. It was in a downtrend. Overall, the weekly still on an uptrend. Weekly, monthly still on an uptrend. Overall, let's see higher high, higher low. That's the push above this area. So daily, going into daily, I can see that the market has been on a downtrend on the daily, but as we can see, there's a slight reverse in trend because this was the last lower high and this is the lower low, the last lower low. Now the market has broken above this structure with this, and this is a higher high, and now it has printed a higher low. So also we still have a double bottom here, so we're looking for buys from this area. So on the 4 hour, we're expecting a pullback into some of these areas here. We want the market to pull back into some of these areas. We want the market to pull back into some of these areas. If we pull back into some of these areas, we'll be taking buys for it to break above this area on the fall. Taking buys into some of this area, into some of these 50, 52 areas. That is for Bitcoin. And which other pair? Gold. Gold. I see that we need a reversal on gold because we can look at gold on the weekly. It's at an all-time high and it's rejecting the level. So it's at an all-time high area. So you might see something like a double top and then it's on the daily overextended, and it's not good to get into an overextended market. On the 4 hour, this is the closest level around this area. The closest levels. At the closest levels. So maybe we expect to pull back into this area and then look for buys into 257 $2,075. So that was my analysis for today. Thank you.